It started with a slap, not a scream, not a siren, just a slap. Middle of a quiet Tuesday, in front of the old brick courthouse in Mason Ridge, where nothing ever really happens, until it does. Judge Lorna Bellamy, well, former judge. If you're being technical, wasn't even there for herself. She'd retired 3 years ago, swapped the robe for pressed blouses and walking shoes, living life quietly after her husband passed. That morning, she was just helping an elderly neighbor fight a ridiculous zoning citation over a sidewalk crack. You know, one of those code violations small towns invent when they want to push someone out. She parked behind the courthouse like she'd done 100 times, adjusted her mirror, opened the door, and that's when he pulled up. Deputy Shane Colton, new transfer, out-of-towner with a buzz cut and something to prove. Flicked his lights once, not a real stop. Just enough to throw weight around. She rolled down the window, calm as ever. He swaggered over, asked for her license like she was a teenager with a loud muffler, claimed her taillight was out, it wasn't. She stayed quiet. That's what threw him off. "You got an attitude," he barked. "No," she said, smooth and low. And then he slapped her. Right there. Now. This wasn't one of those explosive moments, no yelling, no backup, no cuffs. Just the crack of his palm on her cheek, her glasses slipping to the floorboard, and her turning slowly to look him dead in the eye. "Deputy," she said, brushing her collar straight. "Do you know who I am?" He smirked. "Don't care." Yeah, he should have cared. 4 minutes later, Lorna walked through the courthouse doors with that same calm grace she always carried, like the floor remembered her steps. A few folks glanced up. Reuben King, the old public defender, damn near dropped his coffee when he saw the red mark on her face. The room got real still, real fast. She didn't speak to anyone, speak to Tushot. Just walked straight into courtroom 2, opened her leather folder, and filed a formal motion for federal oversight. That's when the temperature dropped. See? What Deputy Colton didn't know was that someone across the street caught it all on video. Grainy, sure, but crystal clear where it counted. A uniformed white deputy hitting an elderly black woman who never raised her voice. By the time she handed that affidavit to the judge, the clip had already hit 30,000 views. And then came the twist. Lorna wasn't just pressing charges. She named names. Corrupt ticket quotas, private fine schemes, deputies co-owning processing agencies with cousins out of state. The whole damn system rotten to the core. By noon, the courthouse was a beehive. Media vans, federal liaisons, Brett locked in an office trying to rewrite the story. But Lorna, she sat with her hands folded, waiting. 6 weeks later, the trial began. Townspeople filled the pews. Farmers, teachers, teens, all there to witness, not just watch. When Lorna testified, her voice didn't shake. "This wasn't about me," she said. "It's about what happens when justice becomes optional." The courtroom held its breath. Brett got 22 years. Not just for the slap, but for everything it revealed. And when the sentence was read, he didn't say a word. Couldn't. No one even looked at him. Outside, the morning light hit different. Townspeople nodded to Lorna as she stepped down the courthouse stairs. Nod in pity and respect. "Isabel," the court clerk whispered, "you didn't just change the court. You changed the town." And Lorna, she just smiled faintly and said, "One brick at a time." Later that week, a little girl handed her a drawing, a silver-haired woman standing tall beneath a giant tree. "That's you," the girl said. "You make people feel safe." Lorna didn't cry. She just crouched, looked the girl in the eyes, and replied, "I listen. That's where it starts. Now here's the thing. You might be wondering, is this justice? Is it enough? Depends on who you ask. Some say it's the end of an era. Others say it's just the beginning. So tell me, what do you think was justice served? Or is the system still broken beyond repair? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it.